Check 1, 2.
Well, hello there, boyfriend. How are you this fine day?
I'm really good.
Is it working?
Yes.
Excellent. Let's not touch shit.
I'm afraid to ask, but I have a great question.
I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm so disturbed right now.
I was afraid to ask with Jamie and Dr. Erica. How are you?
Great.
What's that look for?
The way you introduced it.
It's just, I'm not a professional. You want to jump right into questions?
Yeah, because that probably just saved me from saying something mean. Let's go.
Okay. We were in Vegas this weekend, and they had a t-shirt. You know those funny t-shirt shops? They had a t-shirt that said, fart loading. And I go, that's so stupid. And then I thought to myself, I wish they had one for Erica that said insult loading. Right? And it would be like, here it comes.
I told you, though, that's almost like an insult to me. Like, I don't need anything to load. I got them just ready to go.
Oh, I see. Pew, pew, pew. Okay. You got like, that shirt is like dial-up internet, and you got like a T1 military grade. I don't know enough about the internet to make that reference. You don't need loading time. How
about you're just easy to make fun of?
Yeah. I got a question from YouTube, by the way. You can find Afraid to Ask on YouTube. Can I take a short aside?
What?
I would like to ask you a question. I have my own thoughts. How would you rank social media platforms in order of people being fucking mean? And so we have Instagram, we have YouTube, we have Twitter, and let's do Facebook.
All right. So the meanest to nicest?
Yeah,
or
and
nicest
then I'm going to give
meanest?
you meanest, nicest first, and then I'm going to give you the answer when it comes to people talking about our podcast. And so there's actually an answer. So what do you find in general the meanest platform?
You just said nicest to meanest. Now you want meanest to nicest. Make up your mind.
Nicest first, please.
Nicest. Facebook.
Good one. Totally agree.
It's all the grandparents.
Okay. I get the most mean comments about Jamie Lissow are on Facebook.
What?
And the reason being...
Really?
You have a Facebook...
Wait a minute.
You know how you have like a lot of people have just like their family following them on Facebook? Yeah. That's why I have the most mean comments.
Oh, God.
No. I have that on my personal page with family, just people being nice. I remember you from high school.
But that's why I said the grandparents, because I feel like Facebook is always like people go on there to post pictures of their kids. So it's very family oriented. Like that's really where it evolved. It was like, what? Remember when you had to be in college and have a college email to sign up to Facebook?
I don't.
And then when it first started, you had to have a college email address to sign up for it. That's how they weeded people out. And then they started allowing anyone to join, and people actually got upset, and they were like, what the heck? This is a platform for like college students, and it turned into like this big thing.
Well, Zuckerberg was just trying to bang girls. That's why Facebook... I saw that movie.
I liked that movie. It was insightful.
I did too.
Didn't he like steal the idea from twins? And
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have very good retention.
I like watching like the C-SPAN stuff now or whatever when he has to go in front of people and speak on his defense of like Facebook not being like a horrible idea.
So he's a billionaire, right? And he's got like this incredibly successful company. And the other day, this is going to date this episode a tiny bit, but I don't care. The other day they posted a meme. Apparently Zuckerberg's been like him and Elon Musk were supposed to fight at one point. Did you know that they were actually going to fight? They both train martial arts. And so he was going to fight Elon Musk. Elon wants to do it. Zuckerberg like kind of backed out. It was this whole thing. The other day, Zuckerberg walked out with an MMA fighter. Did you see this video?
No. Yes, I did.
There's
where he's trying to hold stuff and he keeps getting it past and they make fun of him because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yes. So I guess my point being like the video is him doing a walkout with this MMA fighter. I can't remember who it is. And it's the guys getting him ready. Like, he takes his shorts off. He throws them to one of the guys. Who has my mouthpiece? One person takes the mouthpiece off. Where's the towel? You take off your shoes. You give them to a guy. Zuckerberg is in between three people that should be there, that need to be there, and he has nothing to do. They keep passing stuff past him, and he's like nodding his head
and he sticks
to the
his
music.
hand out, and they just go over him, and he's like, oh. And then he does it again, and he's like, oh. And then the third time he just goes,
yeah.
You can tell he's like, fuck, I shouldn't be here.
Yes, it's the ultimate reach your hand out to shake someone's hand, and they don't shake your hand. It's like that to the millionth level. Like he just shouldn't have been there. But I was thinking how funny it is that like that guy has everything, but it still must suck. That must suck to get made fun of like that. I guess what I'm sort of
I saw
getting
that
at is
because
like,
it was a meme on my doctor post, and they changed it to like me as the med student on my first day in the OR. Because it was all the surgeons around handing stuff and being like, F you, dude. You
Yes.
don't belong here.
Yeah.
But his face was like, what should I do? Well, I guess
Do you know
Elon
what?
won.
so yours was, you said it was because people passing stuff past you.
They're like, you loser, you shouldn't be in here. You're brand new. So
This-
like they completely pretend you're not even there, and you're like trying to help, and they're like, don't get in my way. That's what it looked like.
Someone
he was
made
doing.
one about me.
Oh no.
And it was this girl. It was my first threesome, and she was like, "This reminds me of that threesome you were there for." And it was just them. I was like, "Oh, can I grab something? Can I help somebody with something? Hello." Really funny though, that no matter how much money you have, you can still get made fun of. Which brings me to Facebook. People are really mean to me on when Gutfeld makes a post. And they say like Jamie's on the show, it'll be like a bunch of nice people saying they like me, and then people just like, you know what the worst one is? Someone said something like, I don't get Jamie's jokes, whatever. And I'm like, well, that's one guy's opinion. 21 likes. 21 people agree with that
It's a
guy.
very passive way of being a jerk.
Yeah. But anyway, I get the most mean stuff, but it's different. You're right.
That's
I think
crazy.
Facebook, that's a great answer.
I thought
And then,
Facebook was the nicest, followed by Instagram.
if you don't use it for business, follow by Instagram. And then you'd go,
I would go TikTok.
I'd shoot TikTok. Gotcha. I don't do TikTok.
I like TikTok. I think it's actually because it's so quick. It's just it's totally different. I feel like Facebook is like grandparents and family. Instagram is like the fake stuff, right? Like my life is pretty, but people still make some.
Can I interrupt you to prove your point even further? Facebook, it's the most pictures of you. You're not faceless. Like Instagram, you could be faceless. You could just take pictures of buildings. It's the second in place for not being faceless. But like Facebook, it's usually your face, maybe your family, maybe your children. You really have to like be yourself on Facebook. I feel like there's not as much anonymity as like a Twitter, where it's your picture and it's this tiny picture. I'm tired of people in general being I wish everyone would just be. I wish there was something for Facebook where it wasn't people just trying to make me feel like shit about my life. I wish it was something where we posted failures, like a fail book, and I could go. You know what I mean? It's just people posting the highlights of their life. Do you know what I mean? Like you never. It's always like, oh, I lost. It's never like, oh my god, I gained 30
Well, you know
pounds.
what's funny? I think that's interesting because guess what I was going to say? So I was going to say TikTok next because it's like younger people and it's witty and sassy. So you get kind of stuff. And then I was going to say Twitter/X is the meanest one. I think people are jerks on Twitter. But you know what I think is funny is I saw a post. I'm barely on Twitter or X. And someone put like, did you see the intern for MTV or something like sent out an email for
I saw it, but I didn't read it.
something. It was like some stupid thing, but he sent it out or she sent
did
it
he
out
reply
to
all?
reply to like all the subscribers and everything.
You don't
and
want to
like
reply all.
maybe it was like Verizon or it was some huge company, and they wrote back like, sorry, it was the intern's first day. We're not joking. It really was the intern. And then all these people on X wrote back, dear intern, don't feel bad. On my first day of work, I showed up wearing a bathing suit because they said it was beach days.
It's Twitter at its best.
But it was like, it wasn't beach days. It was a joke and everyone else was in a full
Twitter at its
suit.
best right
and
there.
they had like a poster to advertise the vacations they were going to take. But it was a whole list of like
Twitter at its
the
best.
dumbest thing you've done. And they were like, don't worry, intern. I got your back. It was hilarious.
I think that's Twitter at its best. Like people being reply all. You have to be very, very careful. 'Cause
I
you can
don't
get into
like
so
it.
much
I feel
trouble.
like it always disappears. Like I'll get a notification and it's like someone wrote you and I'll look and I'm like, I just see that they wrote. I'm like, what did they respond to? I can't see what they responded
It's
to.
very
What did
confusing.
I write? What did you tag me in something on there? And it's like lost to oblivion. And then I get like these notifications and the abyss where it's like someone writes this huge comment back and I don't even know what it means.
That happens to
I
me
don't
too.
like it.
But I guess also I was saying, I know I don't love talking about my ex on here, but you got to be so careful with a reply all in business. You should be careful you hit that one. I've had that happen where I had an agent who replied all. I was not supposed to be on the thread, and it was something that like wasn't that nice about me. Like I don't know how many tickets he's going to. Like it was something that
Oh, that really happened?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm still with them, but I don't even know if he
accidentally
knows.
almost sent a naked picture to my dad once.
Holy crap! Really?
I've never done like an email bad one.
Who is it supposed to go to? For sure, me, right?
Yes.
What do you mean? You're emailing a photo? Why are you emailing?
Text.
Oh, texting.
Because it's like I have it ready and I'm like, send. And it's like, to who? And it's like the last person you texted. So
Yeah.
it's like, woo.
You're not going to believe this. But this one time when I was married, my wife at the time, she wrote like a sexy message, like sort of like, oh, we should get down, whatever. By mistake, she sent it to me. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so you're going Facebook. That was a rare moment of empathy. There was no
Facebook,
insult loading.
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. And
like
then
that.
LinkedIn. I don't know why I threw that out there.
I saw a tweet. Well, the best tweet I've ever seen in my whole life. That I liked more than any other. It said, best ways to get a hold of me ranked in order. Number 1, text me. Number 2, call me. Number 3, climb up the tree outside my window, break my window with a rock, come into my bedroom and shake me awake. Number 4, direct message me on LinkedIn.
Yes.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen. LinkedIn is so dumb. Okay,
That's
great
so funny.
answer. So anyway, I was going to say, you go first.
Well, you said it came from YouTube.
Yeah, the meanest for us, for our podcast, it's ranked. Instagram, we get the most comments. So I would say, like, percentage wise, it's the lowest amount of negativity, but we probably get the most negative comments because we get so many comments. But YouTube, it's like people are mean to
Why
us.
are they so mean on YouTube?
It's
It's just like instructional videos and stuff. Why are they mean there?
It's where it's the only place the video's available.
I was just going to say, does that suck? Because the only place people are seeing our faces is where they're like, F you.
Yeah. I try not to
If
delete
it's
them.
audio only, they're nice. And then they see us and they're like,
If I see it's one that's going to hurt our feelings, and by ours I mean mine, I'll delete it. But otherwise I leave it up because just like, we're confident in what we're doing here. We feel good about it. It's mostly about the content, Erica. I know you don't go on there, but it's mostly people like, hey, why aren't you the exact person you are on Gutfeld? Why aren't you the person I want you to be? Why are you being yourself? Stop that.
You know what? I think that's hard though, because you do have a character and a personality and a persona that is one way on certain things and another in another. Like, I mean, I'm very different in office as a physician than I am on here.
Yes. Real Jamie wants to get his dick wet.
Ew.
He doesn't want to be this loser.
What did that have to do with what I just said?
The character.
My character. No.
I just meant I want to take a shower.
Real Jamie or character Jamie wants to get...
I just meant I would like to take a shower to get my knee wet.
Gross.
Okay. Before the episode, I was like, let's try to be clean.
Yeah, that's working out well for you.
We are different. We're a little bit different anyway on YouTube. We're ourselves on this podcast. There's nothing I can do. So anyway, we did get some messages that were nice, but then I had a question. That's the whole point of this whole thing, was for me to bring up. Would you like a question about a PSA test? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what that is. Or would you like a question about a hernia?
Like a public service announcement?
Is that what it means?
I don't know. What's the question? I think it's not. It's probably having to do with a man.
Okay. So this
Prostate,
is from...
right? Let's see.
This is from Randy Stockdale, 3072. By the way, I love the first 3071 Randy Stockdales. This one's great. They're all great. Hey, Doc, how often should a guy get a PSA test? What do the resulting numbers on the test actually mean? Thanks.
Why did you do it in like, how often should you get a PSA
I thought Randy
test?
would be like, hey, Doc, how often should a guy get a PSA test? Randy. Randy to me feels like guy goes, he likes barbecue.
I like him. That's an appropriate question. He phrased it in a kind way. He wasn't mean. He wasn't condescending. And it was a very valid thing to want to ask your doctor about.
I chose this question because it was the only comment not shitting.
Okay.
That's not true. What is a PSA?
Prostate-specific antigen. So it's a blood test you can have done with your other blood draw for your wellness examination. So it's not a specialized test you have to go in just for. You can't have it by itself, though. And basically, it checks the level of your prostate circulating throughout the blood. You can do a free or a total. There's different numbers. All you have to know is it's actually
is that one that has ads?
It's bound or unbound in circulation. Same thing with like testosterone, thyroid.
Okay.
The numbers mean different things. You're ridiculous.
PSA test.
Do you want me to explain this?
Yes, I really do.
Sorry, Randy.
You said it's a What's
Prostate-specific antigen. So essentially what it's measuring is if your prostate is having an elevated level, there could be things that are bad. For instance, everyone worries about prostate cancer if that level is high. But you can also have what we call benign prostatic hypertrophy or hyperplasia. So enlargement of the prostate. That's where you would like urinate more frequently or dribble, have a hard time getting it out. You feel obstructed. So it can be high. But you can be falsely elevated by having any irritation to that area. Even something as simple as riding a bicycle.
Is the area... You mean that area? Is this my butt?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
So, did you ever have a prostate test?
Yes. I think we
not a blood
spoken
test
about it. I
but
got
an
the one. Remember the
physical
finger?
one.
It was finger in my butt.
Yes. So
and
it's
you
called
said the guy shouldn't have used his thumb. Remember that?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's a DRE, digital rectal examination, and you're actually palpating the prostate from the anal and rectal cavity.
Does digital in this case mean finger?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow.
So the problem is if you do that, you stimulate the prostate, that level goes up. So I could do a prostate check manually, then draw
I don't like
blood.
that finger wagging around.
Well, sorry, I could have used more fingers, but so right afterwards, if I draw your blood, your PSA level could be falsely high just from that test. So you have to be very careful to not do that. Recent sexual activity can elevate the level of your prostate lab test, and then any irritation to the area. So you ride a bike, you kind of get stimulation down below.
Yep.
Your prostate's deeper up inside, so it's not necessarily like your anus, but kind of the area before too, like anything in the area that would be jarring.
Gotcha.
So...
Wow.
This is the good news, though. You want to know the good news of this whole thing?
You don't often have your prostate jarred?
It's actually not recommended to do a prostatic examination anymore as a screening test.
This is the finger?
The USPSTF, United States Preventive Task Force Service, Service Task Force, recommends no longer doing a rectal examination to screen for prostatic enlargement or nodularities or prostate cancer.
This is the finger, not the blood?
Either one.
Oh.
Because we were finding so many false positives. You would feel something and you'd be like, oh my God. And then we'd have a biopsy and it'd be nothing.
Right.
So the problem is too many people were having biopsies on something that was benign and they didn't need it. So now we really recommend it if you have a very strong personal family history and things like symptoms, peeing too frequently, difficulty with voiding, nocturnal urinary frequency, things like that.
Okay.
Now, if you talk to a urologist, they're going to tell you to do it all the time.
Gotcha. And a false positive, that's like if a girl has like gigantic boobs. You're like, those are cool, but she's having trouble walking.
I was going to say a false positive is a woman has gigantic breasts and then you take her bra off and it was all stuffing.
I love it. A false positive, to be clear. We're not talking about a false reading. We're talking about a false positive, meaning like you think it indicates something that if these variables weren't, if it wasn't, somebody didn't prod it or whatever.
A false positive means the test, doctors are weird. A positive result is usually bad.
Right.
So positive means that PSA level is too high.
Yeah.
False positive means it's too high, but not from anything scary. We did it wrong. We stimulated the prostate or something.
This one time I go to this girl, you sure you don't have herpes? And she goes, I'm positive. And I go, no, I don't know what to think. It's a good point you're making. So.
Well, false negatives are worrisome as well, right? You always have to negate or take into account that tests aren't always accurate. We have to do follow-up tests.
So your answer to Randy, how often should a guy get a PSA test? Are
Only
you saying
with symptoms.
Never, unless
No.
with symptoms?
Well, again, I said if you have a very strong history, medical background history. If you have a history, so what we use a PSA for now is monitoring patients who have had prostatic cancer and usually some type of treatment. Then they measure to make sure the level goes down. And that's a really good way to show that it's not recurring, it's active again. So it's not really to screen every year like you would get maybe your cholesterol checked every so often.
Right.
We don't do that anymore.
Very good answer.
You get to keep your clothes on when you go to the doctor unless you have symptoms. And I think that's important to know. I'm not saying that's
very important to know. I didn't know that.
A lot of guys have anxiety like, oh man, now here it comes. And I get to actually say, don't worry. What are your symptoms? What's your history?
It's incredible.
Okay, we don't have to do it.
I love when information catches up to in the office.
Well, there's a caveat though.
Yeah.
This is the problem. Now we're not catching all of them, right?
Because they're not doing as
Because
many
we're
of
not
those.
doing it on everybody.
Right.
So now it puts a lot of the responsibility in the patient's hands. You have to, if you have any symptoms, get in right away.
Right.
Because if you wait, we're not doing the tests. We're not going to catch things early.
It's a great answer.
So
I think
you've
it was
got to be
very
careful.
comprehensive. By the way,
Though,
yes.
have you ever heard of milking a prostate?
I don't think so, but I don't really roll in those kind of circles. Milking a prostate. I feel like maybe that came up once on an errant Pornhub search.
No. I just meant we talked about how so many men were nervous to go in because they didn't want that test done.
Yeah.
But it's an uncomfortable exam for everyone because some men actually get sexual arousal from prostatic stimulation. And you actually, not you, well, maybe. We could try it later if you'd like me to.
Okay.
You can have a full erection and ejaculation alone from prostate stimulation.
I assumed I was going to be alone.
No, how would you do that alone? Well, I mean, I guess you could.
You're saying, are you saying what I think you're saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't even have to, you wouldn't and I wouldn't. No one has to touch the rest of your anatomy and just do prostatic stimulation. In fact, I've heard that that's very, very satisfying for a lot of male partners.
Oh, I see.
For a means of sexual interaction.
Wow.
So it's actually positive for a lot of people. So you don't have to be afraid of a prostate exam, but it's something to know that you don't have to have all the time. But for me, it would be like a red flag if you were like, hey, I want you to do this. And I was like, I'm not into it. And you're like, but that's the only way I can orgasm.
I had one an hour ago. I want a second opinion.
I would break up with you if that was the case.
You're saying if I wanted that for stimulation, not as a doctor. Did I misunderstand? You're saying that would be weird to you as a sexual partner, not as a doctor. You're saying is that what you're saying?
Well, I think it'd be weird if you came to the office and you're like, please, I want one. Because then I'd be like, you're probably someone who enjoys it.
Yes.
And so you have to be careful
That's like
with those
finger-seeking behavior.
But that does happen.
Yeah.
I've had people request to have like penile exams. I always have but I always have a chaperone in. And if they have symptoms that make sense to where I would need to do an exam, I will do it. But then they'll say some comments that are awkward. And I'm like, I don't actually think that you need an exam. We need to stop.
Wow.
People are inappropriate. So that's why you always have to protect yourself. But what I was saying was,
you just
in the bedroom, me and you, if you were like, hey, I want to do this. And I was like, I'm not into it. And you're like, but that's the only way that I can get off. I'd be like, we got to end the relationship then. That's a big no-no for me.
That's a problem. I think I speak for all my friends when I say I'll take your word for it as far as it works. It's not something I'd want to try out.
I think you'd be surprised at how many of your friends would secretly say that they enjoy it, but don't admit to it out loud.
Wow.
Otherwise,
Okay. This is really fascinating about the... I never thought about that someone might come in and pretend they want an exam to get... I would say that might happen to you more than, say, like an old guy. Old guy doctor.
Sure. The unfortunate thing about my job is maintaining a level of professionalism and having to exercise my rights. Exercise my rights. I can't even talk. I'm getting frustrated because I'm thinking of encounters where patients have dropped their pants for no reason.
Well, I'm sorry that happened. That's a horrible...
It's been frequent enough to be problematic, but that's where repeated training comes into place so that I can be professional despite whatever comes across my path. And why you always have someone else in the room.
Yeah. I'm realizing now the threesome I mentioned earlier, I think I was just a chaperone. I had nothing. I was like Zuckerberg, honestly.
That's the word that we use in our medical notes usually to denote that we had someone else present, chaperone present during genital examination.
Yeah. I like that.
I don't know what they're chaperoning. It just like, are they driving them there and back?
Yeah, it's a witness.
Like a school field trip.
We're looking for chaperones for the genital exams. If anybody wants to sign up to be a chaperone.
Did you know that to train for genital examinations in medical school, typically it's models, right? Mannequins. We've talked about this a little bit.
I thought you meant models like models.
I saw your face. I saw your face. I knew where you were going.
I don't think we did talk about this.
Well, as soon as I said models, I knew where you were going to go.
Well, yeah, you mean fake people.
Yes, Jamie.
You know what? A lot of models are fake people.
Oh, my gosh.
So what happens? We're training for
So then they hire
genital
people
day.
in the community, real people, to do genital exams on. And when mine was, it was one instructor and 3 medical students and a live patient. And the guy that I got was set up by his fraternity brothers.
Wow.
He said that. And he was eating a bag of potato chips while we had to like do everything. It was very uncomfortable.
It seems very uncomfortable.
But what I will say...
What's something like that pay?
I don't know what the compensation was. I don't believe very much. He said he lost a bet.
Okay.
When his fraternity found out that the school hired people, he lost a bet and he had to do it. I'm not even kidding you.
So wild.
Well, the woman too. She had to have 20, 30 pap smears straight.
Wow.
I would never volunteer for that. But it's very fortunate that some people allow us to, because how else would we know what we're doing?
What are they doing to the penis?
Everything.
Are they going in the tip?
Oh, no.
Do you know? I'm embarrassed because this makes me seem older. Remember I said it's cool when like your research, when doctors' research makes things easier for a patient, for instance, they go in and say like, I need a prostate exam. And you go, you know what? The new research says I don't have to do anything to you. You can go home. That happened to me back in the day. We would always get like whatever, STD tests or something. When I was in college, the STD test for, I don't know.
I know what you're going to say.
Was in the end.
Yeah, I've done them to people.
Is the worst.
It was a very long Q-tip.
It was the worst.
And you would take the tip of the Q-tip and go all the way into the urethral opening, the meatus, swab all the way around.
Oh, the swabbing all the way around.
Try to milk some of the penis, right? To like squeeze out any discharge that might come, because then you culture that and you get
I got in trouble
a better
because I was
result.
like, I think there's more in there.
Yeah, and now it's just a urine test. How great is
Isn't that
that?
amazing? I remember
So
going
easy.
back. I remember like not wanting to go because I was like, God, that girl was really suspicious and had no background. I should get tested.
Hey, I think this is great though. How far
great.
it's come, because now it's not even painful. You just have everyone leave a urine sample for all the other things I have to test, and then I'm like, hey, do you want me to screen you for this too? Cool, easy to treat, easy
It's
to
unbelievable.
test. Done. But the training sucks. Yeah, well, we tested for hernias, so we had to do a scrotal exam, feel, push. Kind of, I mean, you do a lot. He was uncircumcised, so we had to learn how to pull the foreskin down without hurting a patient. Like, I know that sounds silly, but if you think about it, not everyone who's a doctor has been sexually active. In fact, one of the students with me, it was a man, but when he did the female exam, he'd never seen female anatomy. He was very, very nervous.
I'll bet that guy's a good doctor. Like he's not distracted by anything. Do you know what I mean?
He was so awful that day, though.
Was he?
Yeah. So do you know what a speculum is?
Was he giggling?
No, he was bright red and sweating profusely, and there were 3 girls.
That's what I'm like. Wow.
So me, 2 other female students, and then he was the last one to go. So he watched all of us, and he had all the steps. So we had the teacher do it first, and then me and the 2 other girls. So he had 4 people.
Wow. I feel like I would not, honest to God, I feel like I would not be able to do. I feel like if I walked up there and a woman, I feel like I'd just start taking my pants off. I'd be like, oops, forgot where I was.
You're gross.
He had never seen a vagina?
Is the duck clip thing that people say, the duck bill. I don't like that they reference that, but that's the easiest way to say it for someone who doesn't know. And it's a device that opens up so that I can see the cervix. It goes into the vagina. It's very uncomfortable for most women, so you lubricate it, but you can't use too much lubrication or it skews the results of the Pap and Co smear.
What's a Pap smear show? What does that give us?
Cervical cytology, essentially looking for cells that are abnormal, have dysmorphia, atypia, predisposition for cancer. And we're also screening for, if you're over 30 or have had a positive Pap in the past, we're screening for human papillomavirus because certain strains have a higher likelihood of turning into cancer.
Do you know how much easier it is to be a guy? I mean, we've talked about this before, but being a woman is really difficult.
But here's the thing that's problematic for men. HPV virus is linked to genital warts or cervical cancer.
Right.
Well, what about penile cancer? We don't swab. What about, now we've actually seen a lot of people have anal cancers from it and throat cancer.
Oh,
so men are still, it's evolving.
I guess I get what you're saying, and that is really tough. I meant from the like examination standpoint, but you're saying it's not as thorough, so maybe yikes, it's better to just get it checked out. But I was thinking like poor woman having to like do this whole Pap smear. Guy,
incredibly invasive.
We pee in a cup.
Oh no! Women can urinate as well for us. Actually, just
but how do they pee in a cup? A funnel? When a woman gets asked to pee in a cup,
you honestly don't know how I could pee in a cup.
There's no way. Could you really pee in a cup? There's no way.
Where would I pee?
Are you
into my hands and then throw it in the cup?
What do you do?
I pee in the cup, Jamie.
How?
I put urine into the cup.
I hand you this cup, and you're telling me you could pee into it?
The cups that we give people are half of that diameter.
But I could barely pee in your toilet.
Well, that's your problem, and unfortunately, it's mine.
Are you being
at 2
serious
a.m.
right
when
now?
I see pee all over the ground.
Do you know they sell this thing for women at like when
the
they're
Wizzy.
camping? Yeah, it's like a funnel.
That's different because once pee hits the ground, it splatters everywhere.
You're telling me that you could pee in a cup with no help?
Who's gonna help me?
I mean, no tools.
No.
You could?
Everyone does. Every woman who leaves a urine sample.
No.
Where are we?
I don't know
what
I
am I
pictured.
gonna do?
I don't know. I picture like the Bellagio. I don't know what I was thinking happens down there.
The Bellagio? What are you talking
about?
about?
The water show. I'm picturing like like it pees.
What do you think it looks like when I pee? Just sitting on a toilet.
I just was picturing that
Like
it
one of
was.
those whippoorwill, like.
I wasn't picturing that it would go into a
water,
cup.
Why can't it? What is it? What am I
You
trying
mean
to
the
think
sprinkler?
of? The sprinkler. The one that has like.
I was kind of picturing. Do you know as a guy sometimes after sex?
Well, how come I can
You
aim
pee
into
two
the toilet
different
just fine
directions?
and you can't?
Sometimes after sex, you pee in two completely different directions. Sometimes I got one going up here and I got one going down, and I got to time it so that the up one lands in there and the one. I've gone completely 90 degrees before.
That's disgusting. It's
Swear
not
to God.
something to be proud of.
I didn't know you could pee in a cup. It's incredible.
Yeah, I can also shit in toilet.
Wow. Was that a callback to my... Oh, no, it wasn't.
No,
You just meant you could shit
I
in the
just
toilet.
meant like women can aim. How would we not pee in a cup?
No.
How rudimentary do you think women are?
I'm really sorry.
I need a.
I was afraid to ask. I thought... I'm just sounding dumber and dumber, but I'm just being honest. I didn't know that it came out of a small... I would have thought it went all over the cup.
Well, sometimes you have to look where you're aiming
This is incredible. Could you stand up and pee? Why don't women stand up and pee?
because it hits the ground and splatters. It'll go to our legs.
But what about on a toilet?
Yeah, I guess I could.
You
I
could just-
have.
You can stand
If
up
the
and
toilet
pee.
was really gross.
You heard it here first, guys.
What?
I just never knew that.
The splatter is why we don't stand up and pee, because you arch with your penis so the urine trajectory is farther. So
Sure.
when you're urinating outside, it won't get to your feet.
I
With
see.
us, we can't arch it
No,
enough.
I meant like why no urinals in the women's room?
Because they're filthy?
You could use one though if you had to.
Yeah. Well, it'd have to be lower, right? Because you're aiming up when
Yeah.
you're shorter. So I need like a little
All
trough.
right. There's kids ones. Did you know there's kids urinals in the men's bathroom? Did you know all
yes,
men's bathrooms?
I could, but I think the splatter factor would be worrisome because you also have to back up. I can't do that.
Yeah.
It's right there. But yeah, I could.
When I'm peeing at a urinal and there's a guy right next to me and there's one of those dividers, I like to look over at him and go, God, I hate these things. And I tap the divider.
I'm curious what other things women do that you have no idea about, and
the
vice
bathroom?
versa.
Great question.
Well, anywhere.
Hey, listen.
I have one that would really
Hold
gross
that
you
thought.
out.
Something you just said made me think of a question we did not get to today, but next time,
What?
I'm afraid to ask. We're going to get into that you almost just said. Things. It's something that happens in a women's bathroom, or just women do.
things that women do.
We'll get into that. And also, there's a man who has a question. I'm going to read it to you, and then we'll do it next time because I find this fascinating. I don't know what I did with it. I lost his question. Basically, it was a woman. She basically said, she said, my boyfriend, we'll do this next time, but she said, my boyfriend got a hernia while touching himself. And she said, we don't want to tell the doctor that's what happened. Will the diagnosis be the same if we make up a story? That was her question.
Oh, people like to lie.
We'll talk about it next time on Afraid to Ask.
That's a good topic.
Coming up on the next episode of Afraid to Ask. Yeah, and do you know in Japan that there are some bars where you can go and a girl will just be really nice to you? And I did it. No sex. No touching.
You paid a woman to be your friend?
I believe I did.
You actually paid her?
Well,
Oh, Jamie.
okay.
Is it like a vending machine? Do you get to select
Listen
that
to me.
one?
Listen to me.
And then if you pay like the low end ones, and they only like kind of nice, they
Listen
only
to me.
laugh at some of your jokes.
I've never told anybody.
You pay a ton of money, and she's like, ho, 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 funniest guy alive.
I had never admitted this to anyone. I was in Japan.